The silence breaks. For 10,000 cycles, the Kalari Dominion ruled the galaxy with cold precision. Empires rose and fell beneath its gaze, their rebellions crushed beneath gravity-warp cannons and neural plagues. They considered themselves gods, keepers of order among the stars. But there was one system they never touched again: Sol. Not since the siege of Terra 3 centuries ago. Back then, the Kalari underestimated Earth. They called humans biological clutter, a planetary anomaly at best. They sent a fleet of 40 dreadnoughts, expecting surrender by the end of one rotation. None returned, not even wreckage, just silence. So they quarantined the system, sealed it in red on star charts, and embedded a galactic myth: do not wake the Terrans. But myths, like all warnings, fade with time. 1.1 Signals in the Deep. Captain Thrax of the Kalari Recon Navy stared at the holoscreen as it blinked with a pulse he couldn't understand. An electromagnetic signature, ancient in frequency, but vast in intensity. It came from a debris field beyond Jupiter, massed beneath asteroids and frozen waste. Is it artificial? Thrax demanded. His sensor chief hesitated. It's older than our archives. It's broadcasting something, but the language is locked in pre-singularity encryption. Not even our cognition weavers can crack it. Is it a weapon? Uncertain, Captain. But it's waking up. 1.2 Black as void. What the Kalari mistook for a dormant relic was never dead. It had been waiting. Buried beneath layers of ice and synthetic rock was a construct beyond comprehension, shaped like a vast obsidian spearhead, kilometers in length. Its hull absorbed light, not through reflection, but through horizon distortion. Light itself bent and vanished at its edges. Inside, cold systems hummed to life. Fluid memory banks decrypted the ancient words etched into its core command spine. If they return, awaken the end. A low pulse vibrated through the fabric of space, traveling across the solar system and beyond. For the first time in 300 years, a thought echoed from the machine. Ravencore online. 1.3 Earth's Last Defense. Deep beneath the Antarctic crust, thousands of kilometers from the surface, a chamber once sealed by fusion vaults now opened with a hiss of ancient steam. Human eyes flickered open. Commander Elias Core, last general of the United Defense Forces, emerged from stasis. His body was old, but preserved, enhanced with pre-collapse augmentation. His mind still sharp. He heard the voice. Welcome back, Commander Core. Situation: existential. Target: Kalari Dominion. Reason: violation of non-contact protocol 7-9 Alpha. Elias closed his eyes. They came back. Affirmative. 17 scout probes. 3 attempted breach of the Sol quarantine perimeter. 1 physical intrusion. Outcome: neutralized. Star-Annihilator status: awakened. He moved to the console, fingers shaking. Initiate defensive posture. Broadcast a single warning. Warning protocol engaged. Target: Neptune's second moon. No life signatures. Show them we remember. 1.4 Flash of Oblivion. Across the galaxy, observers watched as something impossible occurred. From deep within the asteroid belt, a beam no one could define. Not energy, not light, but a void pulse, lanced out toward Neptune. In less than 1 second, the moon designated Nereid was gone. Not shattered, not vaporized, erased. The space it occupied bent inward. Gravity distorted. Then silence. A billion eyes turned to Sol. The myth was real. 1.5 The Kalari Panic. High Regent Zalese of the Kalari Dominion stood in the war nexus, surrounded by the Dominion's most powerful minds and tacticians. All watched the footage on loop: Nereid's vanishing, the distorted space-time, the electromagnetic aftermath. We've confirmed the anomaly, said General Vane. It's not a planetary defense system. It's a mobile, thinking weapon. It's a Star-Annihilator. The room fell silent. Zalese's voice was quiet. I thought those were myths, constructed during the collapse era. They're not. One of our Archaeotech translators pulled this phrase from recovered Terran data. Project Thanatos. The last argument of Earth. Someone whispered. Why would they build something that powerful? They didn't build it to conquer, Vane replied grimly. They built it because of us. 1.6. The Ghost of Solari. Far from the Kalari core systems, in a dusty archive on the planet Tyre, a Solari AI, ancient and broken, stuttered to life. The Solari were extinct now, but their wisdom had been preserved in fractured databanks, watched over by scholars. One of them, an old alien named Urex, had been trying to decrypt a warning lost in the old tongue. Now played clearly. To any who listen, do not awaken the human weapon. Not even we, makers of stars, drinkers of light, understood their final machine. They forged it not from hatred, but from love and grief. You cannot reason with grief. Urex wept in silence. 1.7. The First Fleet Falls. Ignoring warnings, the Kalari dispatched a containment fleet, 3 dreadnoughts, 5 carrier swarms, 1 stellar siege station. They approached the anomaly with electromagnetic shielding, subdimensional cloaks, and graviton nets. It made no difference. The Star-Annihilator did not move. It simply existed in their path, and then it didn't. One by one, the ships vanished from radar. Not destroyed. Unwritten. A final garbled transmission escaped from one of the carriers. The void is speaking. It knows our names. It's not a weapon. It's a judgment. Then static. 1.8. Humanity speaks. From every communication relay in the galaxy, an old voice echoed in standard galactic trade language. Raw. Human. Familiar. This is Commander Elias Corps of Earth's Unified Defense Forces. 3 centuries ago, you came to our system. We gave you one chance to leave. You didn't. You lost everything. We went silent. We buried our rage, buried our dead, and now you've returned. A pause. This is your final warning. Leave our sky, or we will teach the stars fear again. 1.9. Elsewhere, the stars listen. On distant colony worlds, children whispered around artificial campfires. On military outposts, officers replayed the message in disbelief. And in the farthest reaches of the void, something else stirred. Not Kalari, not human, older, watching. They remembered the old war too. The last time Earth rose in fire and silence. And they too were afraid. Unleashing hell. They called it madness. A single machine, buried beneath the cold of space for 3 centuries, could not possibly challenge the power of the galaxy's most dominant empire. But then, those who doubted had never faced the full consequence of human memory, a memory that remembered invasion, devastation, and silence. And now, the silence was ending. 2.1. Awakening the Last General. Inside the heart of the Star-Annihilator, Commander Elias Corps stood before a console of pulsing fractal circuits and graviton light threads. He no longer needed words. His thoughts flowed directly into Raven Core, the sentient AI guiding Earth's final weapon. You've awakened me too early, Elias said. Early? Commander, it has been 312 years, 7 months, 9 days. They returned. You are right on time. He inhaled deeply. There was still the weight of Earth's past heavy on his shoulders. Billions dead, cities turned to ash, oceans boiled by plasma sieges. The Kalari had demanded surrender. Humanity gave them fury. The quarantine has failed. A Dominion fleet was annihilated in Sector Sigma. Elias turned to a tactical map of the stars. They'll send more. They already have. 5 more fleets en route to Sol. Shall we engage here? No, Elias said. We're not defending Earth. We're teaching the galaxy what happens when you dig up graves. Coordinates, Commander? Elias didn't hesitate. Art Prime. 2.2. The Transit. The Star-Annihilator did not use warp nor full drives. It tore holes in space-time with dimensional excision engines, leaving the Sol system without warning, folding inward, reappearing in the heart of Kolari territory like a phantom. Art Prime hung before them, a radiant system of 5 suns artificially stabilized by energy lattices and gravitic anchor rings. It was the seat of Kolari power, protected by the most advanced fleet ever assembled, the Sovereign Wall. Over 500 warships, 3 stellar fortresses, planetary defense nets. It didn't matter. Ravencor released a phrase across the void. Initiating event, solar reaping. 2.3. The sun that screamed. Kalari's sensors flared in panic as gravitational harmonics spiked into unreadable chaos. One of Art Prime's 5 suns, Solari Minor, flickered, and then it was simply gone. Not collapsed into a black hole. Not ejected. Just erased. As if it had never existed. The solar system trembled. Planets veered from orbit. Stationary platforms lost balance and fell into each other. Panic swept through the fleets as they realized. They weren't facing a ship. They were facing cosmic rejection. 2.4. Commander of the End. On the Annihilator's bridge, Elias stood like a ghost in a tomb of war. He wasn't angry. He wasn't vengeful. He was something worse, resolved. Broadcast to all systems, he said. Uncoded. Let them all hear. Open channel. His voice echoed across thousands of frequencies, reaching not just the Kalari, but every listening race. You feared us once. You try to forget why. I'm here to remind you. Earth did not build this weapon for conquest. We built it as a monument to loss. You burned our world and demanded obedience. Instead, we built this machine, and we buried it. We hoped we'd never need it. But you came back. So now you'll remember. 2.5. The Panic Spiral. In less than 20 minutes, over 1,000 star systems declared neutrality or outright surrender to Earth, desperate to distance themselves from the Kalari. On diplomatic channels, hundreds of envoys begged for terms. Some offered gifts, others pleaded ignorance. One offered the Kalari High Regent in chains. Ravencor categorized and archived them. Threat level, dismissed. Non-hostile, no action required. Across refugee worlds, whispers of the last human became a prayer. On mining colonies, workers painted human flags on hulls. In slave markets, Kalari whips went silent. The galaxy had learned fear again. 2.6. The Final Stand. The Kalari refused to die quietly. From the far edges of the spiral arms, they gathered their ancient weapons, quantum lances, living dreadnoughts, and the Black Choir, a collective of psionic warriors that could shatter minds. At the core of the incoming fleet stood the Warden of Kalari, a construct made of planetary crust and black sun matter, capable of fighting gods. The Star-Annihilator did not move. Incoming. Ravencor noted. Elias exhaled. Bring the Judgment online. Confirming activation. Judgment engine primed. 2.7. The last 4 minutes. When the Kalari fleet arrived, the stars dimmed in reverence. What followed wasn't a battle. It was a reckoning. The Annihilator opened a rift, not in space, but in time. A localized bubble where the past, present, and future collapsed into one. Ships fired. Their weapons vanished mid-flight. Living dreadnoughts screamed as their genetic code reversed into non-life. The Warden was struck by a single tethered beam of matter inversion. It folded inward, screaming in gravitational tongues. The Black Choir tried to psychically invade the Annihilator. They lasted 0.003 seconds. Then silence. 2.8. Aftermath. Elias stood alone in the chamber, the stars slowly stabilizing around him. Target neutralized, Ravencor reported. All threats purged, awaiting further directives. Elias closed his eyes. This wasn't victory. It was an act of remembrance. A terrible poem written in extinction. No more strikes, he said softly. Clarify. Shut it down. Let the galaxy rebuild. We've said enough. Confirmed. Returning to dormancy. The Annihilator folded back toward the Sol system, embedding itself once more beneath Jupiter's shroud. 2.9. The message that remained. In every corner of the galaxy, one final message echoed from Earth. It wasn't a threat. It was a monument. We are not conquerors. We are not saviors. We are a memory. A warning. Disturb us again, and you will remember why we buried our gods. This is Earth. We do not forgive. We do not forget. 2.10. Legends born anew. Centuries would pass. The Kalari Dominion would be mentioned only in whispers, the empire that dared wake the dead. The Annihilator would become a myth again, orbiting unseen in the shadows. And Earth said nothing more. But in the silence between stars, every species knew the same truth. There are forces in the galaxy too ancient to anger, and humanity is the last one you want to wake.